Welcome back to Comics, the podcast where me and my mom look through our comic book collection 2 issues at a time. And this episode, we're starting with a DC comic, Wonder Woman number 298 from December of 1982.
That is morbid. I like it.
Yeah, it's part of a long tradition of covers where the main character is dead. And it's not even a teaser. Like sometimes they'll have the main character, it's implied that they died, and then nothing of the sort happens, not even close. But there actually is a skeleton with Wonder Woman's likeness in this one, so spoiler alert. I like the lighting though, and the cracks from the sword going through the wall.
Jeez.
And the rats.
Yeah, the rats are especially creepy. Nice, nice. And is that, what's his name? What is his name?
We'll find out soon.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I always like to make sure I know him before I bring him up.
It's, well, I mean,
It's
with
weird
the
that
hair.
she has whole hair left, but no other clothes, a belt. You think
and you
her other
can't see her
clothes would
bracelets.
survive, you know what I mean? They got carried away. So this is a recap of the last issue. The military is debriefing about Wonder Woman and her encounter with Aegeus. This guy calls himself Aegeus. And he was fighting Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman. And then Steve Trevor strangely disappeared. He was struck by a bolt of lightning from Aegeus, but rather than blowing him up, they think that it teleported him somewhere. So,
Some time travel.
or just place travel.
Place.
And we're forced to conclude that the bolt wasn't meant to destroy, but to teleport him somehow, just as Aegeus himself transported away shortly afterward to escape Wonder Woman. What else do we know about this Aegeus person? Our people have identified him as one Nikos Aegeus, a Greek national. He's a terrorist leader of some notoriety, having recently pulled off a political kidnap execution in Athens. Then our first order of business should be to establish a liaison with the Greek authorities. Captain Prince has already volunteered for that duty, General. She should be somewhere over the Atlantic by now. So, Captain Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, is headed there to see what's going on, and she stops by Paradise Island to talk to the Amazons.
Of course.
She says, he claimed his horse was Pegasus, the bearer of Zeus's thunderbolts, but how could any mortal gain such power? And her mom says, my magic sphere confirms that it was indeed the legendary winged steed he rode.
Aha.
And this is not the first time, Diana, that a mortal human has mastered him. In Greece's golden age, there lived one called Bellerophon, nobly born, but cast out by kings to wander alone. I like these purple
Those are nice.
energy waves in the black Pegasus.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling for his plight, the goddess Athena gave him a magic bridle which to tame Pegasus.
Okay.
And riding the flying horse, he slew the chimera. What a
That's
weird
awkward.
syntax. But ever the proud and restless one, he sought to prove his greatness again and again. I like this chimera. It's like
He's great.
cat bear, snake tail or something.
Yeah.
He attacked us Amazons, destroying our city, and finally he tried to ride Pegasus up to Mount Olympus and take his place there with the gods, but Zeus would have none of his impudence and hurled him back to Earth.
As one would expect if you were mortal, wouldn't you?
Yeah, this is cool backdrop of being thrown out of Mount Olympus. Blinded and crippled, Bellerophon was returned forever to his wanderings, hounded by the gods and shunned by humanity. If Bellerophon kept the golden bridle, he might have passed it on to Aegeus. That would make sense, but if one or both of them were the threat to the Amazons that the sphere predicted, why would they want to abduct Steve? And so they cut to questioning. This is Bellerophon. He's blind. You know he's blind because he tied that thing across his eyes.
I'm sorry, but to think of...
It's a blindfold. He's blind.
To think of immortal people talking, and they're like, but why Steve? Like, it's such a dorky thing to...
It's kind of not as lofty of a name as Bellerophon.
Yeah, you know?
That's a weird facial expression she's got, too.
It is, yeah.
So he's not saying anything, but they're trying to question him. And Aegeus is like, let me just zap him with some lightning or something.
Jeez.
But Bellerophon needs to know where the current home of the Amazons is. So they're on Paradise Island now, but they used to be on Themyscira until they were enslaved or something. They were attacked. That's not something I was familiar with Wonder Woman's backstory.
Yeah.
Because in the JLA cartoon, they would go to Themyscira from time to time, and I think in the modern movies they referred to it as Themyscira. But in this stage of her development, they went to a different island. They used to be on Themyscira. So they're trying to threaten to break his arm, but he uses a moment of hesitation to break free, and he punches Aegeus in the face and hurts his hand. So he's not quite invulnerable, but he's not easy to harm either.
Oh, he's getting a lightning bolt.
Yeah, he's got a bow, a lightning bow.
Are they insinuating that he is wielding Zeus's lightning as well as riding
maybe. That might be it, yeah. Seems to be the theme. You'll die for that, Trevor. No, he's no use to me if you kill him. Let your people run him down. So Steve can get away because they need him alive. And as he's running off into the distance, he crashes through the ground. He's like, oh, I must have accidentally tripped an ancient trapdoor mechanism. Maybe they didn't hear it, and they won't know that I'm going to explore these catacombs for a while.
That's a nice panel, though.
Yeah, I like that action shot.
Really nice.
I like the way the rubble kind of steams up, the dust. And this light is cool. So he comes upon this chamber in the catacombs, and he thinks this is Wonder Woman. So it is a little different than the cover. It's got armor. And it's got a tiara and a shield. I don't know if the cover had the tiara, but yeah, it still has a huge thing of hair. The hair survives. The giant hair.
Blue-black hair doesn't ever get destroyed.
Steve Trevor's blood turns cold as he glimpses the figure that stands bathed in eerie light. His eyes, fixed on the skeleton's golden gleaming tiara, grow wide with apprehension, and his heart is stung by soul-piercing dread. Not far away in the Greek mainland, Diana Prince is interviewing this Greek official about anything he knows about the Nikos Aegeus, the terrorist. And she's not really getting much. However, she says, what about your efforts to track down his gang? Haven't you found any leads? This guy says, they fled by motorboat into the Aegean, Captain, and we've been combing the islands, but there are certain strange regions where uncharted islands seem to arise and disappear in ways unknowable to man. She says, Themyscira. What's that you say? Then she thinks it, Themyscira. It was the original island home of the Amazons, which they abandoned for Paradise Island thousands of years ago after their ruthless subjugation by men. The terrorists must have stumbled upon it in their flight from the police and are using it as their hideout. Meanwhile, Steve realizes this couldn't be the Wonder Woman he knows, not in this strange armor, and even though she's got the same tiara, she's not wearing the traditional Amazon bracelets. But what is this place? A tomb? A temple? Before he could figure anything else out, he hears a voice that says, it might be your tomb, Trevor. Huh? So it's one of the crew of terrorists. He's saying, well, that shield was probably made to withstand swords. Do you want to see if it can absorb bullets? When we lost you above...
But it's Wonder Woman's.
Yeah, right. Don't you think it would be even stronger? Bellerophon told us of these underground tunnels and the Starcade. But he never suggested there was anything down here worth looting. This scepter looks like it's solid gold, and I might just... and he turns into a skeleton from touching Athena's scepter. He's trying to loot it. Great guns! That ray vaporized him. If I hadn't been holding up the shield, the same thing might have happened to me. Oh, someone else is coming. Peter, what is it? I heard you, and good God, what did you do to him? I didn't do anything. It was, hear me, Sophia Constantinus. I, Athena, appeal to the goodness and wisdom that dwell within you. So this statue of Athena comes to life and is like, why are you a terrorist? You shouldn't murder people and do all these things. And she's like, you know what? Maybe we should. But then Aegeus shows up and pressures her into continuing with the mission. But she was about to change her mind. Athena was starting to get through to her. This is what Steve is thinking. But she can't fight Aegeus' charismatic hold. What's wrong with you, Sophia? Do as I say. How charismatic of him. Yes, of course, Nikos. I'm sorry. Come with me, Colonel Trevor. Colonel Trevor.
And he's holding Athena's...
Steve Trevor's 2 first names. Yeah, and it's not harming him. But he has the shield, so he thinks that... I don't know. We're not sure the true nature of Athena's scepter. It can sear all your flesh off of your body, or nothing, depending on who you are.
It's not a wide arc.
So Steve Trevor is thinking, you know what, I think that Sophia lady saw me hide this staff in my clothes, but she's not saying anything, so maybe we could still change her mind if Aegeus doesn't have complete control over her. When all of a sudden Wonder Woman comes flying in on the wing of her jet and tries to lasso Aegeus, who has Steve and Sophia. Or no, I guess just Steve. He left Sophia. He has Steve in the back of Pegasus. And Steve's plan is to whip out Athena's scepter and hurt Aegeus with it, but he gets smacked and he loses it, and it appears to hit Wonder Woman. What have I done? I played my only gambit? And I'm in worse shape than before. He's holding on the tail. I can't be comfortable for Pegasus.
That's not going to get him kicked.
Yeah, or pooped on. Aegeus is in the driver's seat now, and God help me, I think I've killed Wonder Woman. So you'd have to wait for next issue to figure out if she was truly killed. I don't think she was. But we get a Huntress B story.
Why? Why would they do that?
It's almost like we're hanging from a cliff with the suspense that they've developed.
Oh my gosh.
Why would they do it? In this story, this is like an alternate Earth in the multiverse where Batman died, and I think the Huntress was his daughter or something like that.
Cool.
He definitely died. I'm not sure about the daughter thing. So we come to, in the story, we arrive mid-action, and this guy who kind of looks like Batman has been subdued by these gangsters who are holding a knife up to his throat and preventing the Huntress from intervening. So it turns out this guy was it was his first time trying to be a superhero, and it did not go well for him. Talking, always talking. What are you, priests or politicians? Better shake a leg, pinheads. It's time to see the boa. The boa is the main villain gangster in this one. That's why they have snake motifs on their jackets. Why don't you scream it all over town? Hold it, Marty. First I want to take along the flyboy as a little insurance policy. Don't want to be tailed on the way to the boss. You crawling slime. She's really a boomer. She's got dots every word. So they're using him as a hostage. You better not follow us. But she has time in plain sight to grab a homing beacon and throw it on the back of the car. And they never noticed. And he's pretending to be passed out. So he was a top-notch lawyer, but that only gave him a ringside seat as he watched criminals slide through the revolving door of justice. He felt the need to do something more, something lasting. His hero had always been the Batman. The heart of this town nearly quit beating altogether when he died. But then the Huntress swung into action, and he knew in his guts that if she could do it, he could do it too.
Oh my!
So he was inspired to be a superhero by Huntress, but he's terrible.
But he's a lawyer.
Yeah, he's never actually tried it. He just is very confident.
He's got the utility belt thing.
He looks like Batman. He's just got like yellow cowl thing for some reason.
This kind of resembles like a real bat's face too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like a... Yeah, I like that. I was seeing it as the wings, but it is kind of like a bat's face. So, he stinks also. You stink, brother. I mean, first day on the job and whammo. So I guess he stinks and like he sucks. He's not good at it.
Okay.
You get your superhero license through a correspondence course. Hey, hero, test question. Multiple choice. Truth, justice, or the American way? In your case, scumbucket, none of the above, he thinks. So he's Blackwing, is what he likes to go by. And he's pretending to be passed out. He's like, who am I kidding? I'm too scared to even twitch.
No.
He's like, maybe I'll just pretend I'm passed out until they let their guard down, but really he's just too scared to do anything.
He's going to do the Skeletor and see you later.
If only he could. He would do it right now.
No.
And so these gangsters are talking about, hey, this used to be Little Italy, and everybody knew each other, and we'd go down to the candy store and play the jukebox and get a burger, and now there's nothing but tourists in these artsy boutiques and galleries. And the restaurants, I went into one where they charged me $5 for a burger. I didn't even order cheese. I said, you gotta make it in! Forget about it! So the other guys think, look, Boa is taking advantage of the artsy types, and as long as we're making more money, it doesn't matter if this neighborhood's getting gentrified or whatever.
Oh.
He just better watch his back, Rocco, that's all. They're gentrifying everything.
Oh, man.
And that is Boa.
God.
That is our main villain. He's got 2 giant boa constrictors.
Okay.
One is named Roxanne, and the other one we will see on a different page what name it is. I can't remember.
And he's very snake-like.
Yeah, he's got his chin. He's got like a double chin going on, but he's like a skinny guy. It's weird looking. So they're like, we bought you this guy. Maybe at the big demonstration tonight, you can use him as an example. They're inviting all the people that they make pay protection in the neighborhood over. And one of the guys like, do you think it's a good idea making all the merchants that we're leaning on come in one place? What if they gang up on us and decide to stop paying if they join forces? And he's like, no, it'll be good. It's a good idea, actually.
Trust me.
So it's kind of, that I bet in the next part of this story we'll see how this doubting gang member helps to lead to Boa's downfall. He seems to have some concerns. I like how pissed off the snake looks. Like, what the hell's going on over there?
I gave you one thing to do.
So she, Huntress, subdues Rocco or whatever the guy's name is.
Cool how she wields those knives.
I know, and it sticks in his collar and his elbows immobilizing him. You think he'd just like shimmy out of his coat, but slows him down for a second. So she's about to subdue the rest of them when, as she gets closer, she's bitten by Rosemary.
Whoa.
Roxanne and Rosemary, the snakes. If you have snake bite antidote in your handbag, dear, you can keep it there. Rosemary's bite isn't poisonous. But then that's the least of your worries. They only bite to get a grip on their victim. Then they coil around it, constricting tighter and tighter each time their prey exhales. Adieu, Rosemary. We'll pick you up after the meeting. I trust you'll be well fed by then. So Rosemary's gonna kill Huntress here.
No, he's gonna come too. He's got to.
Yeah,
it'll
be his moment to redeem himself.
Yeah, he's peeking out.
That's a weird snake head. It's got such a big head.
Yes. Ugh. Ick.
He takes Roxanne with him, I guess. Rosemary's the only one that gets to eat people.
She's a little tied up right now. Zagnut. I just had a Zagnut bar.
They still make them?
It's weird.
Do they make Clark bars?
Oh, I don't know.
What is in a Zagnut? Is this peanut butter crunch? Is it like a Butterfinger or something?
Like a off-brand Butterfinger. Because Butterfinger is covered in chocolate. The Zagnut was covered in it looked like really fine coconut, but it was orangish. It
Orange?
Kind of like a Butterfinger inside.
Oh,
that color. It was weird.
I don't think I've ever had a Zagnut. How's that for a Superman watch? The Wonder Woman one is a little cooler. This one, you have to have a giant Superman on your wrist at all times. Batman, 1208. They took this picture at 1208, I guess. All of them, they said, making sure it says 1208. Subliminal messaging.
Interesting.
Well, that's what Wonder Woman's up to. Will she die? Probably not. And we have a really special issue for our second one. A great cover as well.
Really great cover.
A comic from my childhood.
From when you were little, ripped.
You could tell I accidentally grabbed it by the cover or something because one of these cardboard couch strands got ripped out, unfortunately, but
well,
I guess I just really enjoyed it.
You loved Ren and Stimpy from the moment you watched it. And
I used to have a stuffed Ren and Stimpy.
I know. And I questioned my parenting. Was the parenting done right? Or was it...
Yeah.
Because
Kids should watch Ren and Stimpy.
You were watching from before your sister was born. And you were 5 when she was born.
I was watching Ren and Stimpy at age 4 or 5.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Well, that's where it all went wrong for me, I guess. Maybe that was your call and you screwed up.
I know. Well, I know.
I love this inner cover too.
Oh my God, yes.
Facial expressions. I remember for a long time the only episode they would play was the Happy Happy Joy Joy.
Yes.
Which is a good episode, but for a while you just have to watch that one over and over again in reruns.
When you were watching it, did you... Obviously, you can't look at Ren without knowing that he's a dog, but did you think of Stimpy as a cat?
Not really. He's a weird looking cat.
Yeah, I always thought him like a weird little dude.
A dog.
You know? Yeah, or some dumpy dog, kind of, you know?
Yeah, it's because he has gloves on, it makes him look like he's supposed to just be bipedal rather than...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to imagine Ren walking around on 4 legs,
Yes.
especially in a pose like this, but Stimpy is a little too human-like.
Yeah, those gloves.
So it's weird that his head is his body.
Yes.
Whereas, like, Ren has a neck, at least some of the time, or an
Yeah.
upper body and a little belly.
Yeah, he's got a neck right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Stimpy, this is kind of his torso is his neck.
Yeah, he's just like a bean. Animated bean.
That's why I'm so messed up watching them.
So,
Wow, the colors in this one.
yes, we've got the first story entitled Obedience School. We have Ren, our intrepid hero, coming home from work. He opens the door. What? And Stimpy was inside, tearing up the chair, as cats
They even
do.
spell his words like his
Like he
accent.
talks.
All I want to do is sit down. Sit down, Stimpy. Weeth. He wants to read a romance novel. I like the weird thing where they make Ren like a 50s patriarch coming home from a long day at work and Stimpy's like his wife or something.
Yeah,
It's a weird dynamic.
Just an idiot.
Yeah.
And he's like, what have you been doing all day?
Stimpy.
Yeah. And he looks around and the litter box is a mess and everywhere. It's got green slime. He's like, one more incident like this and it's off to obedience school for you. He comes in later, Ren's cooking. What you doing, Ren?
I like that sometimes his teeth have huge gaps in them and other times
Yeah.
they're completely straight or lumpy.
That's what your
adds a lot of-
emotions do to you.
Yeah, they change your teeth structure.
So his boss is coming over for dinner and he wants everything to be perfect. And he goes, that means you, by the way. Cripes, that's the door. Or that's the boss. How's my hair? My dog breath. He answers the door. It's Stimpy sitting there. Stimpy, tell me you didn't eat the huge meal I just spent 6 hours preparing.
6 hours?
And it really makes Ren lose it. He's like, that's it. You're going to obedience school. And Stimpy just sits with his belly button. Remember the episode where he goes into his belly button?
I think so.
It's all trippy, deadhead kind of stuff. And then he takes him to Pet University,
Uh-oh.
where we've got this German Shepherd with a tattoo.
It's like Aya.
It is Aya.
Tough version of Aya. Should we give Aya a crew cut like that? Flat top.
So he leaves him, and
Oh,
he gets dragged in. Choke.
poor Stimpy.
So they're going to teach an old cat some new tricks. Pulls him in. This is pretty cool illustration. Yeah, I
Marvel Halloween phone cards. What is a phone card? Like minutes? 10 minutes of phone time.
What?
Each card entitles you to a 2-minute message from a Marvel character in 10 minutes of phone time. Wow. What a weird product.
Yeah. Phone time for what? Because if you
I
get a
think
message...
it's like a phone card for using like a payphone. I think I got a phone card when I took a trip to Washington, D.C. in middle school. You guys got me a phone card to check in. To make, like, long-distance calls, you would, like, pay. It would be a prepaid thing.
I totally forgot about those things. Wow.
I think that's what it is. That one sounds like you also spend some of your minutes listening to Ghost Rider talk to you for a couple minutes.
Hey, buddy. So Stimpy comes back later, and
I like the faces.
yes, and Stimpy's like, greetings,
Renford.
Yes, he's now Stimson. Cat.
Stimson.
And he's like, how did you do it? And they said, with raw fish. When he was good, he was given a fish. And when he was really good, we gave him the whole pail. He's so aggressive.
Yeah, they give him, like, the Arnold voice. Stimson was a model student.
Yeah, this
Funny,
is perfect.
I don't like the dialect when they do it for Ben Grimm, but when it's when it's supposed to be a comedic thing, I think it works better.
Yeah.
For Ren and Stimpy, anyway. I don't remember this Wolverine game. Adamantium Rage. Looks fun.
I don't either.
It's got the good old yellow and blue Wolverine.
I was Genesis, so...
You know, I might have
Super
rented it or
Nintendo.
something.
So we're back at their house, and Ren is like, look, a brand new chair. I bet you'd like to rip into it with your claws, wouldn't you? And he's like, what does he say there? Don't be ridiculous. Why would I want to ruin a valuable?
You know what? I think I did play Wolverine Adamantium Rage at one of your guys' friends' house when I was a kid. We went to, like, a place in Nagani or Ishpeming, and I played a video game in the living room while you guys were, like, cooking on a grill or something.
Oh, cool. That's a weird thing to remember.
Yeah.
So, you know, he turns it down, and Ren brings out a string, a ball of hair, and he's like, really, Ren? Don't you think I'm a little mature for that? Playing with yarn was fine when I was a carefree kitten.
It reminds me of when SpongeBob tries to appreciate smooth jazz and be all adults. Or free jazz, I think is what it was.
But I'm educated now. The only thing I'm interested in is playing.
Playing now is the stock market.
Ren is all happy. That's cool. I actually trained you. You're no longer an idiot. He goes, let's celebrate, pal.
I used to love calling people an idiot when I was a kid.
He goes, pull up your litter box and sit down and watch some TV with me.
He just sits in it like
Oh, is that
furniture.
disgusting?
Ew.
And his favorite show is on Muddy Mud Skipper.
Oh, I forgot about Muddy Mud Skipper.
And he turns his back to it. I love how they comb his hair back. And I have somewhat loftier goals, my dim-witted friend. Tonight I will be attending the opera. And Ren's watching it and stuff. And then he goes, did Stimpy just call me dim-witted? And then after that night, or later that night, Stimpy, how was your opera? Did the fat lady sing? It's sad how the culturally inferior ever mock works of true art. Care to join me in a midnight snack? I made your favorite peanut butter donkey spleen and guacamole. Oh, please, I'm mortified just thinking of that hideous concoction.
Did he have gloves on over his gloves?
Oh my God, yes. He has a cane. That's ridiculous. He tries to get him some gritty kitty. And he goes,
Extra crunchy.
Extra crunchy. Oh, Ren, you still think of me as your simple-minded companion. I'm intelligent enough to know now that the place for gritty kitty is beneath one's buttocks, not down one's gullet. And he's like, Stimpy has turned into a real stiff.
That's like a foldable ad, I think.
Yep.
I'm not sure. You make the A's and the B's line up.
And it's
time to eat Lucky Charms or something.
Pretty much.
All will perish in the great... No, that would be crazy.
It's only in one book, and it was ours.
Why didn't we warn them? Another cereal. Man, they were really marketing the cereal. You don't see too many cereal ads in the older comics, do you?
No, just Twinkies.
Twinkies and sea monkeys and stuff.
That survived the zombie apocalypse.
Now this is healthy food.
Oh, this is going to get you through. So Stimpy has changed. He's about as much fun as a instruction manual. So the next morning he goes, puts on his favorite
single.
Happy, happy, joy, joy. Look at his face. What a punk.
Oh, he's too sophisticated.
He's like, would you please turn down that loathsome noise? I no longer dance to this insufferable pop music. And he's just enraged. I used to love it, waiting to see when he would get to this point.
Yes.
And he goes, I can't stand it anymore. The old Stimpy may have been a total idiot, but at least he knew how to have fun. It's time for it's time for me to take some drastic action. So he takes, I love the horse character. No, sir. Can't say that I do.
I forgot about that.
He takes him for some more training, and he's like, I don't know. He goes, just take all the money he made in the stock market, whatever it takes. And 2 weeks later, he shows up. And Stimpy looks like the old Stimpy.
Stupider than ever.
Yes. See, good news, Mr. Hook. Your friend is back to his Neanderthalic, old drooling self. I must say I've never had a more easier pupil. Eager, thank you. I was thinking, oh my God. It's as if deep down inside he wants to be stupid. Duh, I'm hungry. Do you have any gritty kitty? Yep, he's back to normal, all right. And it shows him at home, tearing up the new chair.
Just like on the cover, it came true. He looks so dang happy.
He is happy.
I like that little cocked eyebrow.
Yes. He's so belligerent.
That's cute.
So
it definitely, I like it, but it's not like the cartoon where you get all the cool music and the sound effects and stuff. Ooh, we get a second one, Dogzilla. Let's see what happens in Dogzilla. I like that squinty expression.
Yes. Well, in these episodes where he was like Dr. Stimpson or whatever, he was smart.
He can be smart.
It's bizarre.
It just brings out, he kind of becomes insufferable, you know?
Yeah. So they're working on this experiment.
Now they want to use the atomic wave projector to increase the yield of these sugar-frosted lumps. They really have a sugary cereal thing going on.
They really do.
The ads and the content.
I like how his gloves are all rumply and just...
They don't fit very well.
Yeah.
Look at him there. Look at that glove.
He goes, this could be a boon to mankind, you know. You wouldn't say that if
this story was called Catzilla.
So they hit it with the radiation, and Stimpy says that they have to wait, and Ren's like, well, how long? Long enough to have lunch. You stay here. Keep an eye on the experiment. Stimpy goes to have lunch, and Ren's standing there. And as always with Ren, the more time goes on, the more he just gets angry.
He's like a ticking time bomb.
Yes. And
he's so spiteful.
Yes.
Look at his jagged little bottom teeth.
Yeah, spite makes his teeth, nasty. But anyway, he's hungry, and he's like, dang it. And he looks over. And could this lead to unforeseen consequences? Nah. And it stays crunchy.
Even in radiation.
That is unusual.
I like those goggles.
His huge...
And his watch.
Stimpy is... Who's your favorite, Ren or Stimpy?
Stimpy.
Yes. Although you really need Ren.
It's like peanut butter and jelly. You need a straight guy.
You do.
It's like Abbott and Costello.
So we go to Stimpy. He's outside enjoying some ice cream. When you tinkering fool, I am the experiment. Oh, yeah.
I like this. His tongue is sticking out, and then
Thud. Ren, What are you doing? I told you to guard the experiment. I am the experiment. And he smacks. I knew I should never have trusted you. He's the one that did it. He knew. Stimpy said guard it.
He's always got to blame somebody else.
He's a little narcissist. So.
Don't know my own strength, man.
Oops, sorry.
Wombat 1 to base. Giant monster attacking squadron.
Clumsy of me,
So
sorry.
he's not trying to hurt anyone. He's just doesn't
he's
know
like,
his
beg
own
pardon.
size.
I love saying beg pardon. I can see the size thing can get to be a problem. And Stimpy is with the military. And at this point in the cartoon, you would zoom in on this guy's face. Remember that? When they'd zoom in and it'd get all
the
nasty?
ultra detail, the same thing that SpongeBob does.
Yes.
I feel like we had something like this when I was a kid.
I think you did.
Expandable lighted power sword.
We have a picture of Brenna with one.
I think so. Only $7. That's not bad.
It was
For all that stuff.
For all that
You get
stuff.
a canteen. You get a spy telescope.
Do you remember
It's an energizing canteen.
what version of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers you watched?
The original.
Yep. Who was your favorite?
I think I like the Green Ranger.
Yeah,
Like the
that was
blue
my
one.
favorite too. So anyway, the military is like, we've got to do something about this.
Ooh,
What
he
do we
coughs
have?
up a hairball.
Yes, and Stimpy coughs up a hairball in stress, which flies out of his mouth and conveniently lands where the radiation
He's
is
got
going to
the
get it.
Jagged teeth. So does
Oh,
he.
yeah. Ooh, his teeth look like they're back in his...
I know, he's got like pointy
Ooh.
and then tiny little stubs. That's weird.
I like how they change their eyes and
Yeah.
almost give him like big, wet puppy eyes. So anyway, the hairball gets irradiated and comes to life and destroys the Tech Institute for Idiots and goes on a rampage and cuts back to Ren, who's climbed a building, as one would do if one is a giant. And the military is surrounding him. And he catches one, and Ren is like, please, Mr. Warmonger, sir, this is a terrible,
Misunderstanding.
Thank
I'm
you.
merely a victim of forces beyond my control. Anything you say, man, just don't hurt me.
His expressions are great. And what's that coming down the street? That purposeful grimace. That terrible sound. Eats. It's pretty darn repulsive, actually.
It's hairball.
Ew. And people are running. This guy's like, I'm paralyzed with fear. And this person, I'm transfixed with terror. And this guy's, I'm out of here. And the ball keeps coming, roaring. Who does he think he is? It only takes one rampaging monster to spoil it for the rest of us. No wonder I'm having such a difficult time gaining acceptance. I do not intend to stand for this. It is really hard to keep up. The Ren.
I know. You gotta change all the I's out for double E's.
I wonder who it was that voiced him.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but did a good job.
Then we have these tins.
Oh, these are
that-
cool.
Yeah.
I like that thing.
And you can see even back then what was important to Marvel. Spider-Man, the mutants, the Fantastic Four, and Iron Man.
Yeah.
And which two have come out the strongest,
Yeah,
you know?
that's a good point.
It's interesting.
I'd like to see them do a good Fantastic Four one of these days. In terms of movies, I mean.
I didn't even see the last one.
Yeah, it wasn't very
I didn't see the last X-Men either.
Oh, really?
I've only seen
Yeah.
2 of those. I don't know.
Well, they'll turn it around.
So then...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Big splash page.
Turn, and we see them confronting each other, and they start the fight. I love Stimpy's little dinosaur humps,
Wrens, yeah.
or Wrens, yeah, sorry.
He looks like Godzilla.
On guard, bonsai. Have at you, hoo ha. And he goes, whoa, lunch break. Like the cartoon, they sit and have their little lunch break together.
It's like the wolf and the sheepdog punching the clock.
And him going, think it's going to rain? Hope not. I just washed my car. He was just born. What the heck?
Yeah.
Your days are numbered. I wonder, in the cartoon, they probably had the little...
A montage kind of thing.
Yes, and the whistle blowing for the end of lunch. And so, you've made a fatal mistake. As the former roommate of a well-known cat, I've learned the secret to dealing with your kind. Fortunately, there just happens to be a nearby factory that specializes in the manufacture of mineral oil. It throws him in a vat of mineral oil, and he dissolves away.
Does that really help people deal with hairballs?
Yeah, you could put some mineral oil on your cat's food, and it helps them. I don't think it dissolves them, but it helps them to bring them up.
I didn't know that.
And Ren gets the applause from the
He's a hero
peanut,
now.
yeah, from the peanut gallery.
It's weird how his eyes stick out under his eyelids like that. They're pointy.
Ooh, gross. It looks like his little mustache, but that's his nose holes. And he goes, but I was merely doing my civic duty as a respectable, law-abiding mutant behemoth. And you have the mayor coming to give him a key to the city. And then all these girl dogs show up.
Oh, God.
And Stimpy's working on a cure, but Ren's like, oh, there's no hurry,
Stimpy's
Stimpy.
pissed.
Yes.
There's no patience. Ask Dr. Stupid. That's funny.
I love his expression. Yeah, this one here. When people say, that stupid doctor, are they talking about you? And it has this really long address from Mexico. And he answers back, sí, they are. And now, a special verdict. Mi amigos, we will no longer accept letters whose addresses are longer than the letter themselves. So that's really funny. So yeah, I don't know how long this went on, but that looks like it's next issue. And Ren is really mad.
What year did we say this was?
I don't think we did.
94.
94. Wow.
So I was about 7,
Yeah.
6 or 7. Wow.
And
That was a fun little nostalgic thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that Marvel introduced.
Yeah, I didn't know they had the license for that. That's pretty cool. I wonder if they did other Nickelodeon-themed comics. I'm not aware of any, but
I'm not
I wouldn't be
either.
surprised.
But that's interesting. So they are part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, they have to bring them in for a crossover.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, the next Fantastic Four movie. They can time slip into, or the universes could collide.
There you
And
go.
get up close with Ben Grimm.
Oh.
And Ben Grimm and Stimpy could team up. That would be hilarious.
That would be a good duo.
Or maybe not. But yeah, good comics.
All right, if you like this, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel, and I appreciate you watching.